and that different view. And it's just really good to see. And he's able to open up and explain things kind of like the how and why. So that just, it really adds on to what we're trying to do here. And it's not even his follows or anything. It's how he is. And we didn't know him before this, folks. That's the thing. We just asked him, "Hey, do you want to come on and be a Giants rep?"
It's the
And
first time I've talked to him even.
yeah, we found him. We found a huge football mind that can help open up other stuff through the show. And it's just, he's a really good guy. He's very laid back, talks football just like we do. We're just a little bit smaller guys. But tell you what, he's a realist. He's not an optimistic guy or a fan that just wants to talk football. He is a realist, and I
Oh, do you
appreciate
know
that
how I
100%.
know that he's not just some hyperbolic, oh, I'm going to say whatever crazy thing? Because I gave him a scenario when he had already told me that he was completely fine and likes the Saquon Barkley pick. I gave him a devil advocate scenario, and he tells me
As you
exactly
like to do.
why. Right. But he, instead of going like all nutty with it, that was an awesome football answer. Like, that was exactly like, well, yeah, I wouldn't have been pissed because we could have got this and this and this, and it would have built this, and we wouldn't need this now, and we'd have, like,
It's a hindsight. You can't get mad at it.
well, no, it's not hindsight, but I mean, I gave him a different scenario, and instead of just getting pissy about it or saying, well, I already told you, like, he jumped on it and said, well, that would have been perfectly okay because these are the things you would have ended up on. And in the end, he said, and it really would have made more sense at this point where we are now than having Saquon Barkley. And that's after telling me he already likes Saquon Barkley. That's telling me that his deeper football knowledge and his football common sense,
Yeah.
although he likes a player, it's telling me that he still realizes overall, if his franchise, the team he likes and covers, would want to be better, that second scenario I laid out would have been better for it. And that's what he said. That's how you know that he's a football realist. He knows his shit and he knows what he's talking about. Is all those types of things. I could have go through just about everything he said was an example of that, but that's just one that popped out of my head right there. That's not being hot takeish. That's not just being
It's
an
not.
opinionist. That's that's having football knowledge. That's being able to explain yourself.
It's
That's
football
being able,
realism. That's what it
yes,
is.
and putting your biases aside to know that yes, I can like a player, I can love a player, but that doesn't mean that I can't also say that there would be a better scenario out there than having this player. That kind of stuff, dude, is
Perfect.
is rare.
I have a perfect example as well for the Packers. There's a player I have loved since he's been drafted because of what he has become, but now I see what he is causing rather than helping. It's Blake Martinez, man. I love Blake Martinez as a player on and off the field, but what has happened the past 3 to 5 games has really just sent me on the other side, and I would not be ashamed at saying let him walk. I really wouldn't.
Uh, they can't pay him the type of money that he's going to be asking. They just
If
can't.
he's going to lead the league in tackles this year, and he
They're
did it
going to
with a
ask
broken
for good
hand,
money. They're going to ask
he's
for a lot of
gonna,
money.
yeah, he's gonna ask somewhere between 10 and 13 million. That's the amount they're gonna want. And guess what? That's half of the Packers cap. It's not gonna happen. It's just not.
No, I'm completely okay because you know how it's not, and I like Blake, and I was really pumped about how he came
There's
out
no
and he
hate
was.
towards him. It's just
No, it's just
it's just what is what it is.
if you were going to tell me we could get Blake Martinez for 4.5 or less a million a year for the
I would
next
shit a
four
brick.
years, I'd take it because I think if you paired him with a really good talent, you'd have a good tandem. But he okay. Here's the scenario. He needs his Aaron Jones. He's Jamal Williams.
Yeah, he needs a superstar, man. He really does. He's
Like
the
if you take,
Navarro
well,
Bowman
I
without the
I don't
Patrick
want to be
Willis.
mean because Jamal Williams is a really good back. But if you put Jamal Williams in the backfield as the starting
It's
back
incomplete.
with somebody else that's not Aaron Jones, I don't think Jamal Williams is. It's not that he's not good, but there'd be too much concentration on him. He's not as explosive. He's not as dynamic. he does his thing and he does it really well, but we've seen Mike McCarthy tried to give him and feature him as the back and would never use Aaron Jones, and it's meh.
Jamal Williams is a part of a yin-yang. If you don't have the yin ain't going to work. He is an incomplete running back room without his superstar Aaron Jones. And I'm not degrading Jamal Williams by
No,
not
I'm
calling him a
not either because I
superstar.
like him. I love him,
am.
actually.
I love Jamal Williams because what he
Yes.
does is in the football field and the locker room,
It's
always
needed.
positive. It
Jay
is needed.
Swaggy. I love that dude.
But what I'm saying though is Aaron Jones is that superstar in the running back room. You need that yin to that yang. And to me, Blake Martinez is the yang. He needs his yin, and that's the higher end player. I feel like he is the Navarro Bowman after Patrick Willis left. He needs a stud inside linebacker next to him. And it's not a knock against Navarro Bowman, folks. It's just saying you need both. And next year's
And
not.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. I would rather go out, get rid of Martinez, and go out and pick up 2 other starting defensive linemen that would make a threesome, or go and really pay for a stud second one to run that 2-down one, and then have our rotation be Lowry and Kingsley Kiki, than pay Blake Martinez and do nothing else.
Yeah, sadly. Sadly, that really is. And I'm looking at the free agents for next year. There's not a linebacker that just screams like a C.J. Mosley type or a Bobby Wagner. There's nobody there. Like there's Kyle Van Noy. Okay, he's a system linebacker.
He's more of an
he was
outside
horrible.
guy too.
Well, but the thing is, though, they switched him to inside this year, and they switched the Alabama pass rusher in New England. I can never remember his name. The one who caused the fumble in the Super Bowl against Matt Ryan. I always forget his name. But anyways, they switched both those guys. No, not Lawrence. No, pass rusher. No, not the defensive tackle. God, it's gonna be right on the edge of my tongue. But anyways, they switched both those guys to inside linebackers because they noticed they lost a step. So rather than just getting rid of them, they put him at inside linebacker rather than trying to put him on the ends and rush the passer where they can still do the damage they can, but on the inside. So yes, I like Kyle Van Noy as a player, but he's a system player. He works in Belichick's defense. He was with Detroit, and he didn't do diddly. So I can't sit there and hype him up. Danny Trevathan, I was on board for that before, even though he's a Bear. But guess what? He just dislocated his elbow and fractured the end of his freaking forearm. No thanks. That, to me, if you injure an arm to an inside linebacker to or near the elbow joint, it's going to take some time to recoup. It's going to take some time to reheal. And, yeah, if he tries to come back before this season's up, it's like Akeem Hicks, like I'm reading about both of them. I don't even want to look at Danny Trevathan. The only one I am seeing on this list that I would want, honestly, is Corey Littleton from LA Rams. He is all over the place. That guy does everything for that second level for the LA Rams defense. And there's no extra piece next to him. I feel like if you can get him, pair him next to Blake, and if you keep Blake on a cheaper contract, you could have a very substantial pairing there. But I don't think it's going to happen. That's just me.
Nope. What do you think about tomorrow, really? What do you think?
I really think it's going to be somewhat like a 28 to 30, 16 game. I think the Packers are going to get touchdowns whenever they get in the red zone. One thing I've seen about the Giants these past 3 or 4 games, they cannot seem to put it in the red zone. It's always field goals. And I feel like the field goals will build up. They may get one touchdown, but that's it. I feel like it'll be 13 to 16 points. I think Saquon Barkley might have a bigger game than we all expect, but I just don't see anybody screaming down the field. Like Sterling Shepard, yeah, he's healthy, but the other two weapons in Golden Tate and Ingram, out. Their fullback, out. So, I mean,
They ain't
I don't
got a
want to
lot
call it a
going
get
on.
right. I don't want to call it a get right game because it screams trap game. It screams that team wants to come out and beat the Packers because the 49ers just did it. And I don't want to sit there and say, no, they're going to roll over the Giants. All I'm going to say is the Packers have an better opportunity to win because of the fact of the issues the Giants are having. And Jerry brought up a good point. Daniel Jones played at Duke. Hasn't played in a snow game yet in his career. Well, it's about to happen tomorrow against probably what Jerry said, a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's going to make it interesting. If it becomes a sloppy, nasty weather game, that might make it actually more fun to watch than it would have been if it was nice weather. Let's be honest.
But either way, Rodgers knows how to throw in that weather. That's the thing is we saw it against the Panthers. Like
Yeah.
Rodgers hit a lot of deep throws that hit the wide receivers in the hands and just couldn't come down with it. Even Adams had one in his hands and got knocked out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. He knows for some reason his pass is able to cut through that freaking sky
He practiced
and
it.
just. Well, that's what I'm saying. But if you go watch, and it's probably something you learned from Favre, from what you said earlier. His pass is able to cut through snow like Favre's was. Like you watch other people's passes. Kyle
Tight
Allen.
spiral.
Oh my God, man! If you throw a duck, that wind hits it. It just wobbles even more. If you have a tight spiral and it's low and mid-level, whoo, man, it cuts like butter.
It's all in
But
the way you throw
all
and
in all,
deliver the ball.
I'm predicting a win. I'm not expecting a win to make it more sound like not a trap game.
That's interesting. All right, we're taking our last break, then we're coming out to say goodnight.
Night.
And if you haven't had enough of our banter tonight, you want to visit NFL Addictions on Facebook.com for all of your NFL banter and debate. It's not a trash talk site, so keep it clean and keep it cordial. That's NFL Addictions on Facebook.com. And if you still have an itch to scratch when you're done with that, you want to visit Raz Addictions on Facebook.com to play their version of the raffle for all kinds of chances at cool prizes. You can even win some cash. Buy a $10 raffle ticket with a chance at $100. That's a chance to win 10 times your money. It don't get any better than that. That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com for all kinds of cool prizes. Tell them what you've won, Dave.
I've won everything from NFL tailgating barbecue sets. I've got old school helmets. I've got new style helmets. I've got memorabilia rings. I've got signed banners. I've got signed footballs. I've got everything that Raz Addiction offers, folks. They also have more that I haven't won, which is surprising, but they're cheap, affordable, and they're certified stuff that you can win. So go ahead and check it out.
That's Raz Addictions on Facebook.com. Go there, play, and win. And now it's time for shout-outs.
We have Miss at Julie Noted _ PFG NFL writer and co-founder with at Backs Football Guru of at PFG Vibe and PFG Vibecast. Julie is also a cult writer for at Our Turf Football, a women's group of sports writers with having great pieces and is a great sports follow. Also, we have PackToTheFuture.com, where it features us on their podcast sections, where you can get all the things you didn't even know, where you can check out Packers news and check out tickets to the games and even Packer event updates.
At Parker Moles is a Packers writer and contributor for Die Hard Packer Fan, a great young writer with a different view of the game and brings a ton of energy and passion to his work. Then you've got at MontyJP231, the founder and host of the Full Monty Football Show every Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, featured by Nuts and Bolts Sports on blogtalkradio.com. He works hard on Sundays so you don't have to. And follow the rest of the crew too at Greg Cowboys, at Lion Cuban, and at the other George Lopez. Again, that's at my